It is Friday, September 2nd, 2011, and this is the second live edition of INFOWARS Nightly News, Monday through Friday, premiering at 7 p.m. at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. And we have a very important transmission lined up for you this evening. Coming up, we look at one of the biggest scandals in modern history. Barack Obama and the ATF have been caught shipping tens of thousands of guns into Mexico, Honduras, and to gangs in the U.S. as a pretext to destabilize these different regions and blame the Second Amendment. Will this modern Watergate bring down President Barack Obama and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives of Waco fame? We'll be talking to Larry Pratt a little bit later about his view. He's the head of Gun Owners of America. We're also going to be speaking with Aaron Dykes and looking at a special report that he's compiled dealing with bisphenol A deadly chemical added to most plastic products that is being used to reduce fertility and massively increase cancer in the population to reduce the numbers of people upon the face of the earth. It's all coming up tonight. But first, I want to get into a couple of different news items. Libya. Even earlier in the week, as rebels took more and more areas of the North African country, the Washington Post, the London Telegraph had to admit all over Libya and all over the capital of Tripoli, big piles of dead black Libyans. Now, Arabs are the majority in the country of Libya, but obviously there are a lot of black Africans in Africa, and they're always been part of the country and the region. And because Gaddafi was more of a multiculturalist, they were supporters of the government. But most of them were not in the military. Well, black women, men, children, you name it, are being drug out of their houses. They're being shot in the back of the head. They're being beaten. They're being tortured. I want to warn you that some of the footage we're about to show is very disturbing. In fact, this isn't even the worst stuff we have. I made the call not to show a lot of this. This is people being hacked up with machetes, piles of dead children. This is the NATO humanitarian response to Libya, a conflict that the West started through al-Qaeda rebels in the East 6 months ago, now leading to a bloodbath civil war. Here's Rob Dew with that report.
The destruction of the spirit of the people.
We've seen racist accusations thrown at our leaders in the past.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
But Barack Obama was supposed to be different. He was supposed to be a champion to all. But now we see that our participation in Libya and the current conflict is a direct correlation to the images you're about to see. Here we see the town of Tawerga and a massacre of the blacks that have lived there. Their hands were bound behind their backs and they were shot in the head. Black-run businesses are being burned all across Libya, and blacks are being rounded up in the back of pickups and taken to prison camps. The dogs of war have been unleashed, and we can expect to see more images of racist attacks on black Africans by al-Qaeda-backed forces. The next time someone claims you're a racist for not supporting Obamacare, isn't the U.S. and NATO-backed genocide against black Africans the real racist agenda? Remember, Libya is not Bush's war. It was started by Barack Obama, a president who has roots in Africa and is using black cover to do the bidding of the New World Order.
It is truly a disgusting travesty to watch this unfolding. I'm no fan of Muammar Gaddafi, the 42-year dictator, but we were told that the uprisings were spontaneous and nonviolent. And now even the mainstream media admits it was a fomented rebellion by the West, and that this is the new model of globalist imperialism. To have rebels try to overthrow the government of whatever country you're targeting, Syria, it doesn't matter, Libya. Then when the government resists those rebels, NATO bombardments come in, followed by Western special forces on the ground. And I saw news reports today that heat-seeking missiles are falling into the hands of al-Qaeda, who is now the new government of Libya. Even I can't believe this. It's like I've woken up in the Twilight Zone. The globalists like to loot third world countries with military force, like we just saw in Libya. and then engage in genocide and call it humanitarian intervention. But in Europe, the United States, and other industrialized nations, they use high-tech forms of looting. Central banking. You'll remember Timberwolf, Goldman Sachs, and others in the last few years were implicated by their own emails selling products to their customers that they knew was, in their words, absolute shit, and laughing about their customers. Now we got jobless numbers today. There's over 400,000 a month. We've got the slowest growth rate since the Depression, and we're adding 0 jobs right now. But Goldman Sachs and their financed minion, Barack Hussein Obama, are telling us everything's okay. There's just one problem. The Wall Street Journal and the Economic Collapse blog has written about this, got a hold of an internal Goldman Sachs strategy paper by one of their top economists advising their insiders to bet on the total collapse of the world economy in the next 3 to 6 months. The headline reads, even Goldman Sachs secretly believes an economic collapse is coming. The Wall Street Journal had the headline, Goldman takes a dark view. I'd say they're taking a dark view. Goldman Sachs is at the top of the pyramid of this globalist power structure that's implementing the collapse of our society. If you think you've woken up in the Twilight Zone, you're wrong. You've woken up inside the eugenics-run New World Order, the scientific dictatorship. Yeah, it's crazy to see the United States and NATO hand Libya over to al-Qaeda. And now they've got all those heat-seeking missiles. Don't worry, the government will take our rights and keep us safe. If you think it's unbelievable that the ATF would ship guns into Mexico and drugs back into the United States and nobody would get in trouble, this dark ride into the New World Order has only begun. This next report, filed by Aaron Dykes, is titled Bisphenol A, Death by Plastic. This stuff is all around us. It's linked to cancer, conclusively proven. The doubling of diabetes cases in the last year and more. This is how the globalists are poisoning us. And Aaron Dykes has filed this extremely powerful report. You think it's just in plastic bottles? Think again. It's in almost everything.
Scientists have known for decades, since the 1930s at least, and alternative news sources like INFOWARS.com have long documented that the compound bisphenol A, BPA, disrupts the hormonal system, causes infertility and even cancer. But governments didn't warn about the dangers of BPA, widely used in plastic bottles, food cans, and soda cans, until only a few years ago. For more on why, I filed this report for INFOWARS Nightly News.
Bisphenol A. When you open up a can, that lining may contain a synthetic estrogen. That's right, a sex hormone.
BPA is unsafe and can lead to cancer, diabetes, and other diseases.
BPA is what is known as an endocrine disruptor.
Canada became the first country in 2010 to ban the use of BPA in just some products, and Europe soon adopted many of these bans. However, in the U.S., the Food and Drug Administration has been much more reluctant to admit the dangers.
Food and Drug Administration is not ready to sound the alarm.
The Food and Drug Administration says the chemical known as BPA is not dangerous.
This despite the fact that a 2004 CDC study found BPA in the urine of well over 90% of the U.S. population. Consumer awareness has created a trend against its use in many products in lieu of a ban. But BPA, which can alter sexual behavior and much more, has increasingly been found in abundance in a wide range of products, many of which you may not expect. This includes most of the printed store receipts, money, printer ink, dental amalgams and fillings, baby formulas, cosmetics, and now similar estrogen-mimicking hormones have even been found in top name-brand clothing. Efforts to eliminate contact with bisphenol A, must combat with the increasing places it pops up unexpectedly in our modern lives. And what else could pop up? Research conducted at top institutes like Harvard and Yale found that BPA has widespread effects, including neurological, thyroid, and dopaminergic issues, obesity, as well as low weight, fetal development, carcinogenic effects, including breast and prostate cancer. Its impact on hormones in both men and women can negatively affect the reproductive and sexual system. Studies on lab animals, including primates, found permanent changes to the genital tract, changes in breast tissue predisposing to carcinogens, long-term reproductive and carcinogenic effects, increased prostate weight, early onset of puberty, longer estrus, decline in testosterone, increase of anogenital distance in both genders, greater sensitivity to hormones and cancer, decreased maternal behaviors, adverse neurological development, disrupted ovarian development, and reversal of normal sex differences in brain structure and development. But just reporting these scientific facts has caused Alex Jones to be attacked by Media Matters and others for supposed gay bashing.
The reason there's so many gay people now is because it's a chemical warfare operation. I have the government documents where they said they're going to encourage homosexuality with chemicals so that people don't have children. I even catch myself, Bob, drinking out of these estrogen mimickers.
But the disruption of the body's endocrine system by pollutants put in place by man has nothing to do with sexual preference.